Barry, at half-time, I was a bit concerned about Hindson, were you?
Yeah, they were a bit ragged, and then they didn't seem to have the rhythm and play with any kind of fluidity. But they clearly, in the centre half, they're taking on whatever the manager said at half time, and then they upped the pace of the game, and the cohesion was better. And the longer it went, you felt that the more tired Taulo became, and they resorted to long balls which were largely ineffective, and you kind of felt that hopefully it was a matter of time. Yes. But what time?
Yes, yes.
What was it, 30 seconds?
It was added on time.
Yeah, right.
Somewhere in added on time.
Yeah. So
and from the captain, what a finale for him.
Oh, I know. Well, for everybody, and everybody connected with the club as well. Very emotional.
Yes.
You know, I think back a long time.
Tell us about those days when you were playing.
Well, I didn't play very often, but I've had a long association with the club in one capacity and another.
Yes.
Going back to, Carol and I got married in late 1979 and came to live in Dubai. And I really came to get to know the real Hindson as a social member, and then began to, because in those days I was covering local football for the BBC Radio Newcastle. I didn't get to cover Heaton that often, but whenever I could find an excuse I did. But it meant that really I didn't see them very often on a Saturday, and began to have to depend on midweek games. But the love of the club, it's almost like Newcastle. It gets in your veins, you know, and the people here are real football people, and I'm just so happy for them. It's been a long time coming, and believe me, there have been some scary moments and some major scary moments along the way.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people, some of them sadly no longer with us, who deserve the credit for bringing the football club to where it is now. And yes. I'm so happy for them, because you know, I have very many happy memories, and so does everybody else who's got any kind of association with the club, really. And it's now, hopefully, they'll go up into to the next level, and I think they'll hold their own. You know, they'll recruit, and they'll strengthen where they feel they need to. And I don't think they need go up with any trepidation. But for the moment, let's just concentrate on what's happened today and what's happened this season, really, because you know, they had it won, and then it looked as though they'd thrown it away, and now to go a goal down in this game and come back and win it in stoppage time, it's fairy tale. You couldn't write it, you couldn't, and I'm so pleased. I really am.
I've heard teams talk about getting promotion, you know, in the higher leagues from playoff finals. And Hindson, if they'd have won at Hindson in that last league match, there was only be 200 fans there from Stan. Here, 1,091. Yeah, a lot from Town Law.
Yeah.
Vast majority must have been Stan. We heard that when the goals went in.
Well, yeah. Well, the game they played, in order to play this game, they had 6,090.
652.
652.
Yeah.
And that was a record crowd.
Yeah.
And they've more than.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
And really, the number of people who turned out today, the crowd contributed considerably to the game, and particularly when Heaton started to get the bit between their teeth in the second half, the crowd really got behind them, and I'm sure that's a factor. You know, the players become aware of it, especially you know in a relatively small environment like this, and. You know, they'll all be going home. Well, then maybe not all be going home quite yet.
I think there's a party down in the bar, Barry.
But yes, I mean, it's just for a lot of people, a dream come true.
Yes.
And I'm one of them. You know, I never thought, back in the days of Bob Groundsell, who was Mr. Hindson in the 70s. That this would come to be. And I look out this window where we are, and I look at the pitch and the floodlights and the beautiful kind of football ground that they've got. You know, there's so many people contributed to this, and this rewards for all of them.
That's brilliant. Glad you've enjoyed it.
Oh, did you notice?
Yes. You'll be back next season watching First Division football.
Well, yes. That's a thought.
we've not been in the first division. I suppose the history might tell us that in the past, when there was one league,
Yeah, I think that's true. Yes,
Yes.
in when football began after the war years,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that there was
Right.
one league, and I remember very vaguely that there was that Bishop Auckland played here.
Yes, they did.
In a heyday, so that is indicative of probably that there was
Yes.
one Northern League, but
Yes.
this is a different era.
Yes.
And there's a photograph in one of the local almanac kind of booklets of that game.
Right.
And there's no grass on the pitch. It was
Yes.
played on Boxing Day.
All right.
And it's just mud.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
so we've come a long way
Yes.
in many ways.
yes.
And so now they've got to sit down, enjoy the moment, and then decide where they go from here. But as I say, I can't see them doing anything other than at least half the first division next season.
Yeah.
Because they've got the backing of the social side,
Yes.
and they're pretty well self-sufficient financially, so everything's in place.
Yeah, yes. Dean's done a good job with his three backers, hasn't he?
Oh, he's done very, very well, and he as a manager, and he and the people that he's got behind him, took over from a long-standing manager in
Yes.
Derek Thompson, and
Yes.
that couldn't have been easy.
No.
Because Derek was here, I don't know how many years, but certainly
Yes.
for a considerable
Yes, he
period of
was.
time. Made the team respectable again, I think.
Yes.
But then, he decided perhaps that he's taken them as far as he could, and a new face and a new approach, and it dovetailed together perfectly. And here we are, now we have the outcome, and all credit to him. But let's not forget the teams and
Yes.
all the players that came before.
Oh, yes, they played their part.
Absolutely.
And Derek was so disappointed not to get the team up himself in one or two seasons in those early days under
Well,
his...
yes, they came very close,
Yeah.
and in some senses they did their best to come very close again this time. But
Yes.
just perhaps where Derek didn't have that little rub of the green when
Yeah.
it mattered, Dean has,
Yes.
and good luck to him.
Yeah, excellent. That's been brilliant, Barry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.